Hello, my name is John Dennison, co-founder of the World Rugby Memorial and the Armistice Youth Rugby Festival. Welcome to France, welcome to the festival. It's where sport and history meet, and we inspire future generations. At World Rugby Memorial, we would like to thank our event and media partners, including the Mayor of Compiègne, Philippe Marini, the RCC Compiègne Rugby Club, City of Compiègne Tourism, the FFR Ligue Haute de France, RDJ Sports and Single Step, along with our project ambassador Brian Rolfe from the Royal Hospital Chelsea. Also media coverage from TF1 and TV3 in France, ITV, Andy Lyons, chief correspondent from the Daily Mirror, the Rugby Paper and Rugby World magazine. So now let's meet some of the people behind the scenes who make this great event happen.
We asked past president of RCC, Pascal Mitchell, for his thoughts and memories about the Armistice Festival.
First of all, Pascal, just looking back on 2018 for the centenary, what are your memories of that weekend in particular?
I think the most important thing, John, is first of all, the commemoration for all the players who died during the First World War. The 55 players, we have a cenotaph really in the grounds of the club with their names on, and that was very important for us to commemorate the Armistice, the 100 years since the end of the First World War, and all those players who died and gave their lives for the club. And also to have the players, the young players from the 16s and under 18s from across Europe to commemorate the occasion, so we had an extremely interesting commemorative weekend. It was very important for us to hold that every year.
Peter Jones, educational advisor to the Armistice Festival.
Compiègne is a place of great historical interest where they signed the armistice that brought World War I to an end. It was such a significant moment that Hitler brought the French back here in 1940 to sign their surrender in World War II. Compiègne has some claim to be one of the most important historical sites of the 20th century. And as a rugby fan, I've got to say it's a great place to go. The club at Compiègne are tremendous hosts of the tournament, and it's just a short distance away from the Armistice site. History and rugby, what is there not to like?
Our education element includes visiting the World Rugby Memorial on the battlefields of the Chemin des Dames, and we include a number of rugby stories about some international and club players. We will also visit the Caverne des Dragons, where World War I was fought underground.
Olivier Cosset, president of RCC Compiègne.
So I'm now with Olivier Cosset, the incoming president at the Rugby Club Compiègne. And Olivier, great to meet you today. You have been part in the background of the Armistice project since we launched it in 2018 for the centenary. What does that mean to you?
It's really important for us to maintain alive the memory of what's happened in Compiègne, which is a very important historical place. And so this type of festival is primordial for us to keep the story alive.
And the fact that the rugby is played by youth teams from various countries and bringing people of the age of 16, 17 and 18 together as part of the rugby family.
Yeah, definitely this is the main issue, to really be able to passing memory about what's happened here and to provide this knowledge to the young generation around a great festival which is with happiness, fraternity and around the game, and to be the exact opposite of what have been happening here, which have been a war, an hard war, and we will create some kind of event will be joy and play. So this is the idea of this festival, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
Zimbabwe international Shane Makombe is a player at RCC.
I'm with Shane McCombie, one of the international players who plays here at Rugby Club Compiègne. And pleased to say he was actually part of the Armistice centenary here in 2018.
Yeah.
And not only were you here as a player, Shane, you were also here to represent Zimbabwe on behalf of the president of the Rugby Association in the country. How did that make you feel?
I think for starters, I felt like I'm a part of history. You know, being involved in such a big thing and then on top representing your country, it was a huge honor and privilege for me.
The festival features teams in the FFR categories M16 and M18. This enables players aged 15 and 16 to play in M16 and ages 17 and 18 to play in M18. All fixtures are shortened games of 15 aside to allow for individual playing time limits, but more importantly, play against different teams. This year, we are introducing girls' sevens to the festival, which we see as an important step in promoting the sport using the same age groups. In the modern crowded rugby calendar, the festival sits well within the academic year, giving players a chance to play in an international festival that combines the sport and education without impacting on their studies. It also offers the opportunity to meet and play against teams from other countries and develop friendships. The most important factor about the festival is to inspire future generations and provide them with lifetime memories.
The ability to play against teams from other countries is just such a great feature about the festival.
The Armistice Festival in Compiègne is a great opportunity to tour. You'll play against a range of teams outside of your usual fixture list.
Louis Mitchell is head coach at the RCC School of Rugby.
My name is Louis Mitchell. I'm a youth rugby coach and head of the Development Academy at Rugby Club Compiègne. We are super pleased to be hosting the Armistice Youth Rugby Tournament. It's a great opportunity to have players from all around Europe come to this historic landmark, which is Compiègne, and play a wonderful game of rugby.
One of the special features of the festival is the option to take part in a professional training session with RDJ Sports. Richard De Jager gives us his thoughts about the Armistice Festival.
At RDJ Sports, we are pleased to be a partner at the annual Armistice International Youth Rugby Festival in Compiègne, hosted by the World Rugby Memorial Frankfurt events, Rugby Club Compiègne and the City of Compiègne. Recently, I was honoured to represent the South African Rugby Union at the Armistice Centenary Festival, and I know the combination of sport and education makes this event unique in the rugby calendar, which I fully support. Each year, RDJ Sports provides a training session on the first day of the event, which is available to all teams with our professional rugby coaches from South Africa and other parts of the world, and support you through the tournament. In addition, your own coaching staff will have an opportunity to discuss training techniques for youth rugby at the Train the Trainer session, which we can do for you should you require it. We will be watching closely all the games at the tournament so that we can present our Player of the Tournament award in each of the age group categories. I look forward to seeing you in Compiègne.
Mametz-on-the-Somme has a special connection to the game of rugby, and local mayor Stéphane Brunel gives us his thoughts about how we look at history and towards the future. It is important that these ceremonies have continued into 2018, 2020, 2021, 2022, and that we can do it as often as possible. We must pass the memory to our youth, so that the young people of Mametz and the young people of Wales and around the world do not forget what happened here. Those who died here, to put in quotes, get the Germans out of this wood and therefore defend our village and defend certain values that we had in France. Now in Europe, it is important that our young people also acquire this state of mind, of memory, and that they keep in mind, always in mind, that we can return to a united Europe. It is what we hope in the world, but in any case, our youth must be associated with this, and this is very important. Peter Jones talks about the battle around Mametz in 1916, along with Brian Rolfe.
So we're standing at Flatiron Copse Cemetery, right in front of Mamet Woods behind me. Flatiron Copse itself was a German position in July 1916. There was a heavy machine gun post that took some dreadful casualties from the Welsh as they came from in front of me across this hill and away to my right, which is where the dragon sculpture is now situated. There's 1,572 burials here. Initially it was an advanced dressing station, and then as the war moved on, it became a concentration burial site where all the small battlefield cemeteries were amalgamated here at Flatiron. Perhaps the two most poignant graves here of the lot really are two brothers from Cardiff, the Tregascus brothers, who lie side by side, who died side by side in the fighting in front of Mamay Wood.
So, Brian, what does a military man make of the challenges faced by the Welsh here on the 7th of July 1916 here at Mamay?
You're looking at the death trap. They're coming down the hill. You can't run down there. The only way is to slide down. At the bottom you go into a ditch. Then you've got to come out of the ditch and go uphill with a machine gun on your right hand side, machine gun to your left, interlocking arc of fire. It's a death trap. How anybody ever managed to reach the woods is amazing. It's astounding that they did.
We finish our event with an optional visit to Lochnagar Crater and Tiat Val, as we remember the beginning and end of the Battle of the Somme in 1916. Here we will tell you about the events of July 1st at the crater and the importance of the memorial built after World War I and some of the many rugby connections.
The Lochnagar crater was created by 27 tons of TNT detonated beneath the German front lines on July the 1st, 1916.
Standing here at the edge of the crater, one knows that you are standing at a place where history was made.
The Tiat Val Memorial to the Missing of the Somme commemorates more than 72,000 men who have no known grave.
At Tiat Val, one is inspired by the sheer size of this cathedral-like monument to the missing.
Finally, a message from our World Rugby Memorial Ambassador, Brian Rolfe.
It's a place where I can go to reflect on the thousands of young men who played the game. The rugby players whose graves are scattered around the world, not just in the two world wars, but now in the modern era. The memorial is located in the once ravaged but now peaceful countryside that formed the battlegrounds that were the First World War.
Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in Compiègne in October. For more information about the Armistice International Youth Rugby Festival, you can contact us at rugbymemorial@gmail.com or www.francor.org, or alternatively, contact your tour operator.